have been traveling full-time now, going on 2 years.
Yeah, our first video was September 24th, 2021, right in the middle of the pandemic. We just decided to jump in and go for it, and here we are almost 2 years later.
Yeah. Now, when we first started, our plan was to stay for a month in each location. We were going to be doing what they call slow travel. And that is pretty much what we have done. But there have been a couple times that we have decided to move around a lot quicker. So last year, we went through Romania, and we traveled for 2 months through Romania, and we stopped in 11 different locations. So for us, that was a lot quicker.
That was a lot faster. This summer we decided to do the same thing. What was it? Almost a month in 9 locations, I believe. And we're going to break down now what we prefer and the pros and cons of fast travel to slow travel.
Right. So we have had a lot of questions and honestly a level of concern.
Some concerns.
that we have switched our style, because we know a lot of people follow us because of our style of travel, which is the slower style of travel and a budget travel. And when you switch over to faster travel, it's got a really different dynamic to it.
It's got a different dynamic to it. And just to backtrack a little bit, we are never going to get away from budget travel.
No.
We'll always be focused on that.
So now first we're going to take a look at fast travel, because that's one that we just got done doing.
Yeah, and you know, one thing that we do kind of get envious of when we watch other YouTubers is how they just move through and see all this stuff in a short amount of time. So that is definitely a pro to what we're doing in fast travel. We get to see way more territory. We get to go places and see things that we would otherwise miss if we were just doing the slow travel.
Right. The other thing is that we don't get bored. You know, you always have something new that you're excited to go see. Before you know it, you're packing your bags and you're heading off to a whole new location. Yeah. There's really no time to get bored. There's always just this like big level of excitement.
We also get to go to places to visit, maybe just for the day, that we wouldn't otherwise be able to afford to stay long term. We just went to Vienna. We went to Salzburg. Those were both day trips that we simply could not afford to go to those places and stay any more than really just a day.
Right, especially during summer season. It just was not affordable. But even the time that we visited Munich and Milan, we were only there for those few days.
Right.
Staying a month there isn't really in our budget. So it was a good decision. Now, another benefit, and this one is more so just directed for us, is that with doing YouTube and you're hopping and moving, we visited 9 different locations, like we said, in a month. We shot 9 videos in a month. And, you know, when you stay in one location for a long stretch of time, you don't get the opportunity to shoot that many videos, and you kind of maybe struggle a little bit more to find content.
Yeah, we try to not just shoot random videos. We try and have a purpose behind our videos. And when we're moving fast, we do get a lot more material. Okay, the cons. Now this list may be a little bit longer. I've already mentioned that we're always going to be budget travelers. That will never change. And I think the biggest con to fast travel is the fact that it does cost more. It's very convenient to grab a hotel room for 2 or 3 nights, but that also comes at a premium. It also is more difficult to eat in. You can't, because you usually don't have a kitchen. So that's something that we've grown accustomed to, saving money simply by going to the grocery store, just like you would at home, and cooking our meals at home.
Right. The other element that to me is a really big deal, because this is kind of an area that I probably cover a bit more, and that is the planning of where we're going next.
Yeah,
and
a bit more, or all of it?
All of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a lot that goes into it. So when you are going to location and you're going to stay for a month, you're finding a rental for 1 month.
Right.
You're finding how you're going to get there, and you're staying the entire month. You know, and there's so many of those things that are just easier, because when you've done it, it lasts a while. Now, when you take into consideration that we've moved 9 different times in 1 month, each of those places that we went to, we needed a new place we were going to be staying.
Right.
We needed to have transportation to that location. You need to know what the currency is, because we change countries numerous times. What is the language spoken? Right. There are a lot of things that go into your phone. You know, is your phone plan going to be able to cover you?
Right, and all that sounds like it's obvious, but it's something as simple as, you know, what time does the bus leave from point A to point B? What time does it get there? you might be 5 hours ahead of schedule before you can even get in to your hotel or your Airbnb. And what are you gonna do for the next 5 hours with your luggage? Just little things like that come into play 9 different times.
Right. And so I would say that by moving faster, a level of the fun is removed because so much time goes into the planning process. You are always planning something and don't get that time to just be like, all right, we've arrived and now we get to relax for the next couple weeks before we start looking at our next location.
We went 2 weeks without doing laundry.
We use the sink in the
That's a long
hotel
time,
sometimes.
right? We did some rinsing and some wringing, and we got it done. But that is definitely a con.
Huge con.
It's a huge con. It costs us $9.50 to go to the laundromat and do 1 load of laundry. That's wash and dry. That would add up, obviously, if we were to do it more often than that. Now, I wouldn't recommend going 2 weeks without washing your undergarments.
Especially during the summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not even totally a cost thing. It's also the fact that you now have to take out of your few days that you have in a location, you have to take that time to go find a laundromat because some places they're all over. And then in other places, they're kind of hard to find.
Right.
And then you get to go kill some time while it's washing and then come back and put in the dryer and then kill some time while it's drying. So it takes some precious sightseeing time away.
Yeah, well, that killing time usually includes a couple beers too, waiting for the wash.
So it costs a lot more than $9.50.
Right, so it's more than $9.50.
Another con, and I would put this really high on the con list, is you get burned out. I get burned out a bit faster than Brian can probably get burned out. That constant go mode, constantly being on, not having time to just go, today I just want to go back to the place and take a nap. You feel like you almost can't take a nap.
No, we can't, Carrie. We have to go.
Because you are, once again, using up that precious sightseeing time.
Yeah.
So, we like to have some of those down days, and you just really don't have that so much when you're moving around a lot faster. Plus, when you reach that burned out point, it's not as simple as, let's just take 1 day and kind of recoup and then you're back at it. You kind of reach a wall. I know I do. I reach this, I'm done. I'm ready to just kind of have downtime for a time.
I'm done. Okay.
But
Jeez.
you really want to just have that longer stretch of time where you don't have to pack your bags, you don't have to be on the run again. So it takes a little more time than 1 day to recoup.
Yeah, it really does, and you're always thinking about where your next meal is. You can't just go to the refrigerator like we do right now because we're doing a long-term stay. It just makes things like that a little more complicated. Where's your next meal coming from? Where are you going to go? What are you going to have? Eating healthy is much more difficult. So that's another thing that's kind of high on our list is being able not only to save money, but to try and eat right. Carrie eats way better than I do, but I still try and keep within a reasonable calorie intake per day.
Harder to do when you're eating out all the time.
Yes.
Now this one is going to probably seem funny to some people who haven't maybe experienced moving around as much. And you can kind of start to forget where you're at.
It's funny to me. It's funny to me, and I have moved around quite a bit.
Yeah. So, all of a sudden we put the camera up in front of our face and it's like, welcome to, and we're like, crap, where are we?
I'm sure we're at.
Because everything kind of starts to blend together. And there's an issue with that because are you truly getting that time to fully enjoy where you're at to where those memories kind of start to mix together?
Yeah.
Which city was that?
Yeah. That's kind of the number one for me, honestly. That we should have put that more towards the top of the list. These aren't any particular order, but that is something that, what are you experiencing? Are you just running around seeing new stuff all the time, or are you truly experiencing what you're looking for? And that's kind of getting missed, I think.
Yeah. So kind of funny little story is that we had moved all these times and we were in hotel rooms, and you get up in the middle of the night, we're older, we get up a few times, and you're going to the bathroom and it's dark in your room. And I literally walked into the wall, like I didn't hit my face, but I'm like, okay, there's a wall. And I'm in my head remembering the hotel we were in the night before.
Yeah.
And like, where is the bathroom?
She got lost in the corner.
So you forget your surroundings. You don't have time to get to know where everything's at.
Now, I was asleep for this whole thing, so I didn't get to witness it.
Oh.
I really wish I'd been awake to watch, because I wouldn't have given her any clues at all.
He would have watched. He would have videotaped it.
Bad weather. Now, we knew it was going to be hot when we came to Europe in the middle of the summer. There's a heat wave going on. Mm-hmm. We're prepared for it. We feel like we're acclimated to the heat, being in Southeast Asia for so long. But what we didn't count on was the rain. Mm-hmm. It rained several times that month we were fast traveling. And the problem with that is you got to shoot that video. You can't wait until tomorrow. It might rain tomorrow as well. So we did have a couple of instances where it was pouring down rain. It's in I think it's in our Krakow video. Well, it happened a couple more times, and we just didn't decide to shoot it. We didn't film that part because we've already done it, and we were dodging rain the entire time. It also includes the heat. Mm-hmm. Now it's pushing 100.
102.
102. So we really don't want to go out and shoot a video in that kind of weather either. Mm-hmm. If you're short-term traveling, or fast traveling, I should say, you don't have a choice. You got to get out and you got to get it done.
Well, and that even not that's definitely directed more for us. But say you as just a traveler and you want to go out and you want to enjoy a town and you're only there for 2 days and it's pouring down rain, you don't have the option of like, let's wait it out. You get to go and explore the town in the pouring rain.
Right. And
not as much fun.
This is August too, so it's not like we're in January.
No.
This is the middle of the summer and it rained probably half the time.
It was, we definitely had to kind of dodge raindrops the entire month.
I felt like we were back in Seattle.
They were having nicer weather in Seattle.
Now, we kind of alluded to this earlier when we were talking about moving so fast and maybe not experiencing the place you're at fully because you're moving too fast. Well, finding that nice little pub down the street or meeting new people that you see maybe every day at that pub that you just get acquainted with, that's kind of a part of travel as well. Mm-hmm. Meeting new people from different parts of the world, we find very interesting. And when you're moving fast, you just can't do that.
Now also, when you are limited on the amount of time you have, you're going to have to pick and choose what you want to see. There were times that we had to choose not to maybe get on that train and go just an hour out of town and see something because we really didn't have the time allowed to go do that in the couple days that we were in a location. So you're picking and choosing, which also means we're picking and choosing what we're having the ability to bring to you. Right. Where normally we can be in a location longer and kind of go, okay, we really want to bring this and bring that, and we get to know a town first. So.
You get to know the town first. That's exactly the correct way of putting it. We'll go out and we'll explore before we even take our cameras with us. We've had a few comments lately like, gosh, you guys missed this or you missed that, or maybe you should have done your research and done this. Well, we did do our research. We just couldn't do it because we didn't have enough time. Yeah.
Now, the other thing, like Brian had mentioned about groceries and not being able to eat as healthy, that's a big issue for me. I enjoy being able to go and get things that, I don't know, I just feel better when I'm eating a healthier diet, and eating out is challenging to do that because we are budget travelers. We're not just going to some fancy restaurant where I get to pick something and I'm willing to pay whatever price to have something healthy on my plate. So not having that ability, but also for me, a challenge is not having a routine. So it's really hard to not have a level of routine when we are fast traveling and moving around so quickly, because our routine typically looks like we get up in the morning, we relax, and we work on YouTube and doing that for probably the first 4 to 5 hours. Yeah. So at around noon, 1 o'clock, we then head out and we go kind of enjoy the town and do what we're doing. You don't get that ability to do that when you are moving around so fast. You get up in the morning and you go.
Yeah, people have asked us to do a video on our daily routine. I think honestly you would get bored with that video pretty quick.
You watch us eating or working and drinking coffee in the morning, like what we're doing right now.
Just with a little coffee. It's just a great video.
This is our morning routine.
So much fun. Great? Watch this for hours. So what we've grown accustomed to is slow travel. We enjoy it for all the reasons we just mentioned. But what are the actual pros to slow travel? Why do we enjoy it so much?
Right. So the first thing would probably be because, like we said, we are budget travelers, and when you get an accommodation for a month's time, you save a considerable amount of money, sometimes 50% on that stay. So that is a huge bonus. And to me, even if you're going to cut your time just a little bit short and you're not there for the full month,
Right.
it still is beneficial to go ahead and reserve for that entire month.
Yeah, and we brought this next one up a couple times already, is the food and the grocery shopping. There's more to it than just that. You get to an Airbnb, you're not going to have ketchup, which is kind of a big deal. You can't really buy it when you're fast traveling, because then you got to pack it. But olive oil, salt, pepper, ketchup, just all those things that you've grown accustomed to having, not even grown accustomed to having, that you need to have. Eggs, a carton of eggs, stuff like that. We can go find that grocery store that suits our needs. I think we've been to 3 different grocery stores where we're currently at, just to see which one's the best. And it just makes life so much easier.
It feels more like your normal style of living.
Yes.
When you're slow traveling, because you can go and you open your refrigerator, and there's a level of comfort I've always had when I have a full refrigerator. Like we don't have to go, "Oh, you're hungry? Okay, we've got to go find something to eat."
Right.
You know, we can go and just grab something out of the refrigerator. And when you are moving too quickly, those couple things that you might have in your little hotel refrigerator are just snacks. They're not a meal. So
I love snacks.
he loves his snacks and his beer.
Every Airbnb that we choose for a long-term stay has a washer. Usually not a dryer,
Yeah.
but always has a washer, where we don't have to wait 2 weeks to wash our underwear. We can do it every day if we want to. So that is something that it's a big deal to us. If there's an Airbnb, everything's perfect about it, but it doesn't have a washer, it's out. It's a game changer. We can't do it.
Yeah. Going to the laundromat is a pain, and it is costly. One more pro would be that you feel planted. You, like Brian said, find your favorite grocery store, find your favorite watering hole. You might have that little walk that you like doing in the morning. Your favorite waiter at your bar, or whatever those things, you just kind of have that feeling like you're home.
Right.
And that is, I know, a feeling that I really enjoy.
Well, we get a lot of comments like, I couldn't do it. I have to have a home. I have to have a place to go back to. We get that. We don't have that. Even when we go home, we don't have a home to go back to. So when we do slow travel, we want that home that we have for only a month to feel like home as much as possible.
Now, packing and unpacking. When you are fast traveling, you leave your stuff. I have my suitcase kind of like an accordion, and everything is just in there, and I wear it, I take it. I honestly, the time we were traveling, and this will sound gross to many of you, other than underwear, if it's dirty, it just gets folded and put right back in, because you don't have time or space, honestly, to be putting your stuff all into dirty clothes bags and then trying to figure out how they're going to fit into your suitcase. So they just kind of get put back in so that you can see them, and then you're ready to go again. When you get to a place and you're going to be staying for a month, there is just a beautiful feeling about opening your bag and unpacking it all.
Now, I'm not very organized. I try and be organized. I do my very best. I really do. And when you're not unpacking, I lose things. I leave things behind. Now, I do put my dirty clothes into a dirty clothes bag. And then 3 or 4 days later, I pull them back out again, and I shake them.
Gross.
And then I'll put it back on, usually. But yeah, just the ability to unpack and let everything out to where you can get to it.
You're learning so much about
Definite bonus. It's true. Everybody does it. Everybody does it.
Everybody does it.
Now, when we're slow traveling, we're also able to go back to that favorite beach spot or that Coliseum or whatever it might be that was really fun the first time. When we're slow traveling, we can go back 2 or 3 times if we want to. And that's obviously something that we do as YouTubers when we're shooting videos. We have the ability to go back and do it the right way. Now, another thing that's kind of big to me is when we're slow traveling, I can go back to our place and take a nap if I want to. Now, I still feel guilty sometimes by taking that nap, but I get over it really, really quick. So, just
guilty.
being able to go home and relax, kick your feet up, is a huge bonus, I think, to both of us.
I absolutely love the just the opportunity to not feel like you are going to be missing something by taking that time off. when you reserve an Airbnb for a month's time, one benefit is you can leave that place. So say there's day trips or overnight trips that are nearby, you can go and be able to, say, just even pack a bag and go to a place and stay the night. Sure, you have the expense of another place that you're going to be staying the night, but you're not having to move to that next location with all of your luggage and everything that's involved in that. So we really enjoy that.
Yeah, I got another one that we didn't put on the screen, our little cheat screen right behind us, is when we stay in a place for a long time, we're usually here by the time our Instagram videos start coming out on here. We love hearing suggestions from you. If you're on our Instagram, which you should be, you can tell us where to go, what to see, what to eat, what to do. We're still here.
Right.
Usually on our videos, we're about 2 weeks ahead of time. So that's a definite bonus, hearing from you guys on Instagram on where to go, because we don't want to miss anything.
No, and unfortunately we end up missing quite a bit, and we get those suggestions now.
After.
So we have been like long gone, unfortunately.
Dang it.
Yeah. Now, are there cons to slow travel? Yes, there are. I do feel that the pros outweigh the cons, but we're going to go ahead and cover some of those cons. One big con, and we've just learned our way around this one a bit and gotten more used to it, is that in a month's time, you are typically going to get bored.
Yes.
You get to a point, you've seen everything, you have gone to your favorite places numerous times, you've gotten into your routine, and that 3-week point hits, and you're ready to move on.
Ready to go.
Yeah, you're ready to see new territory. Now, there have been places we have stayed that we could have stayed longer.
Yes.
We loved it. But there have been places that at that 2-week point, we're ready to move on. And you don't have necessarily that ability. Of course, you can always leave early, and we have done that at places.
That, yes.
But that's not cost effective.
Right.
So, you have to learn to go ahead and be bored, just like if you were at home.
Take a nap.
So, yeah, take a nap.
Take a nap. When we slow travel, we see much less territory. Obviously, when we're fast traveling, we get to go to Munich, Prague, Vienna, all these really cool spots. When you slow travel, you don't get to do that. Now, we do try and pick places because we've learned that have day trips. We're in Florence right now. We're going to branch out. We're going to do a few day trips. We'll be in Palmero, Sicily. Later on in the month, same thing. We'll have things to go do. But generally speaking, when we're slow traveling, we don't get to experience as much.
Right. And no matter how much research that you have done on a location or on an Airbnb, sometimes you arrive and it is not what you expected. Yeah. Either the town isn't what you expected. We've arrived places that, and in the pictures and all the reviews that people say, and this is just Google searching and watching YouTube videos, we arrive and the entire town is shut down and there's like nothing there. Or you get to your Airbnb and those pictures look fantastic and they're not fantastic.
No, we've done an Airbnb video and we feel like we're pretty good at it.
We still
But sometimes it just doesn't work.
It just doesn't work at all. For instance, the place we're in right now, it is actually a really great place. We are in a great location, and that's why we picked it. Location. But would we pick it again? No, not at all. We wouldn't pick it. So there's just, you can do as much research as you possibly can. Unfortunately, until you arrive to a location or an Airbnb, you really do not know what you're going to get.
I kind of like this place.
He likes it better than I. I'm a very minimalist person, and I like things really clean. And
there's a lot of stuff in here.
This doesn't check. This is a lived-in Airbnb, so when people are here, you're with their stuff, and we don't normally get places like that.
Got a lot of stuff.
We did get it for a reason, though. It was kind of the only place that was available. So
I like it. Now, on that topic, staying in a place for a month, some Airbnbs will require you to pay utilities, some will not. If they do require you to pay utilities, we tend not to book those Airbnbs. Now, this particular Airbnb, she booked it to us for a month. She was a little bit wary about it because of the heat and the air conditioning. How much of those utilities are we going to use? She agreed to let us stay, obviously, because we're here. But that's just something to be aware of. It's an added cost that you may not see if you're not careful. So which is best for you? What do you prefer? How do you like to travel? If you're not on a budget, if you can spend the extra dollar, fast travel maybe for you. If you tend to get bored, have a hard time relaxing, fast travel may be for you as well. Now, we have some friends, they did a fast travel last summer. They got burned out as well, and they're way younger than we are. So all the more power to you if you've got that energy to just go, go, go. We've had people say, yeah, we've been to 38 countries in 10 months. We couldn't do that. There's just no way that we can do that. So if you have the ability to not sleep, and just go, fast travel may be
Your style.
Yeah.
So who is slow travel best suited for? It's going to be suited for those people that are maybe more budgeted. They need to be able to save a little bit of money. It's better for digital nomads. If you're working on the road and you need to be settled into a place to be able to get on some kind of work schedule, you're not changing time zones, things like that all the time, slow travel is going to be for you. Also, if you aren't on a set time, obviously, if you are working a job and you have 2 weeks vacation, that 2 weeks vacation you want to plug in as much as you possibly can. We get that. We've been there. But if you don't have a set amount of time that you can go travel for, slow travel might be a better option for you. Plus, if you are somebody like me that likes a place that you can kind of feel like it's home, get settled in, slow travel is a much better option.
So our final thoughts, where do we go from here? What are we going to do? We are most definitely going to continue down that slow travel, budget-friendly travel plan, probably from here on out. We may jump in a couple weeks at a time. For the most part, we're slow traveling.
Right. And, honestly, slow travel for us, it fits our energy level. It just fits where we are right now. We have the time to do it. We are budgeted, so we need to save the money where we can. So slow travel just checks all the boxes for us.
Yeah, and it also, we do work. This YouTube isn't just something that we throw out onto the internet. We do work at it, so we do need to have that workspace. We mentioned when we were fast traveling, we did a lot of videos. Well, now we're working on editing a lot of those videos. So there is some work that goes into it.
Okay, now like we said, we just got done traveling through Central Europe for just about a month, and we've had a lot of questions from people of what did that cost us. So if you are interested in finding out what visiting 9 different locations in 1 month's time in Central Europe costs, then tune in for next week. Make sure and hit the subscribe button so that you can see, because we are going to give you a full breakdown of everything.
Everything.
Every one of Brian's beers. All right.
Cheers.
Then slow travel is a better option. Just getting away from that constant hotel moving and stuff.
I think I have a bug in the back of my neck.
Let me. I don't see one. 11? No, 9 different.
Yeah.
Hold on.
See, we can't even remember. We can't even remember.